Hello everyone. Hello Javin. Myself Mukesh Kumar Singh. Currently I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Information Technology. Today I am going to discuss here one of the most important topic in my SQL, that is my structured query language, that is aggregate function. First we have to discuss what is the role of aggregate function and how we have to use aggregate function. Let's suppose we have a table. This is a table. This table contains multiple columns or attributes 1, 2, and 3. This table contains attribute A1, attribute A2, A3, and A4. Let's suppose we want here's the type of A1. That's all the type are this type of integer. And user want to add all these whatever data here inserted here, row 1, row 2, and row 3, row 4, row 5. It is the requirement of user. He want to add all these. He want to add attribute A1, values of all the attribute of A1. Then by using the aggregate function we have to add. And in aggregate function there is a function that is sum. Let's suppose some user want to take average. User want to take average of these values of any particular attribute A1, either A2 or A3. Then we have to use the MySQL aggregate function. That's why if we want to perform certain operation on particular row or attribute, then we have to use MySQL aggregate function. It is used to perform calculation on multiple values and return the result in single value. For example, let's suppose someone is adding these values, then what will it will give result a single value, whatever the sum. It is returned by this aggregate function, like average of all values, the sum of all values, and maximum and minimum value among certain group of values. We are we mostly use the aggregate function with select statement in the data query language. We will discuss this later how we have to use. But what is the basic objective to use aggregate function? If we want to perform certain operations, for example, we want to perform average of all the values, we want to find out the maximum values, even we want to find out minimum values, and we want to find out average of the values, then we have to use the SQL function in particular table. What are the syntax? Definitely we have to follow some syntax. On the basis of that syntax we are able to we are able to instruct some queries. The following are the syntax to use aggregate function MySQL. What are the syntax? First we have to put the function name. Whatever the name of function, there are 6 function which we are using in aggregate function. We will discuss one by one each and every with some example. Then we have to use distinct. Whatever the expression, either we have to use distinct, either we have to insert some expression. On the basis of some expression, the query will be executed. In this syntax, we had used the following parameters. We need to specify the name of the aggregate function. It means there are 6 aggregate function we have to specify. For example, sum, count, first, whatever we have. I have to take all these with 1 or 2 more example. First one is the first name. In function name, we have to specify name of the aggregate function. In second, we use the distinct modifier when we want to calculate the result based on distinct values. Let's suppose we want to add all those values which are distinct in particular rows. Then we have to use distinct. Or all modifier when we calculate all values including duplicates. The default is all. If we are not using distinct, by default it will take all expression. And third, third parameter, we need to specify expression that involves columns and arithmetic operation. It means which column is either we are using column A1, A2, A3, or and which arithmetic operator we are using, we have to specify it. That is all about the MySQL aggregate function. Syntax. What is the syntax of the MySQL aggregate function? First, we have to write the function name. We have to write here function name. Function name. That is followed by either we have to write distinct or I have to write all. Then we have to put the expression. It means expression for what purpose? For which column we are modifying, for which column we are calculating, we are operating, we are processing. That will be the syntax of MySQL aggregate function. Next, we have to understand which how many types of aggregate function and what they are going to return, what are their return type. First one is the very important, that is count. That is first function, first aggregate function is the count. Actually, what is the role of count? Count, it will return number of rows, including rows with null values in a group. Let's suppose we have a table. This is the table. It contains some rows and some column. Let's suppose it contains row 1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. If we want to, how many number of, in particular, let's suppose it's attribute A1, it attribute A2 and it attribute A3. If someone is that how many values are there in attribute A2 or how many values in attribute A3, then we have to apply the count. What will give result? What will return by the count function? It will return number of rows in particular attribute. Let's suppose we have applied count on A1. It will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Answer will be the 5. Whether that is that contain none value or not, with even that it contains, if it contains null value, then that is also included by the count function. Next one is the sum. Sum function, sum aggregate function, it returns the total sum values non-null in a set. Let's suppose I have discussed earlier also. Let's suppose this is the student table and it contains 3 attributes. That is name of a student, marks student and percentage student. If someone want to add all the marks gained by student, then we have to apply the function, that is sum function. With the help of sum, we are able to return total values, total sum values of particular column or particular attribute. Third one is the average. Actually, what is the role of average? It returns the average value of an expression. Let's suppose here we want to not sum, we want to average, then we have to apply the average function. What will give result? It will find out average of all the values on particular attribute. Fourth one is the min function. Actually, let's suppose we have a table and we want to find out the minimum age and we want to find out minimum salary. Even we want to find out minimum value on particular attribute. Then we have to use the function minimum. Same as if someone asks what will be the maximum value on particular table, what will be the max, let's suppose it is our table, it contains 2 attributes, here some R1 and R2, and we want to find out what is the maximum value of attribute R1. Then we have to apply max. It returns the maximum highest value in a particular set. Next one is the group concatenation. Actually, it returns a concatenated string. And next one is the first. First, it returns the first value of an expression. Whatever the first value of expression, it will return by the first. And the last, it returns the last values of an expression. We have to discuss each and every. We have in this lecture I'm going to discuss all these aggregate function, especially count, that is the count, sum, aggregate, min, max, and first and last also. We have to discuss each and every, but that is the most important: count, sum, average, minimum, max, first and last. Now we have to start. I have to take some query. With the help of that query, we have to take some examples also. First function is the, that is count function. I have already told that what is the role of count. Actually, count function, it is used to return the count of an expression. Whatever expression we are passing, if return the total counted value of that expression, it allows to count all rows. This is very important. All rows or only some rows of the table that matches a specified condition. Actually, it is a type of aggregate function. I have already told aggregate function whose return type is begin. This function returns 0 if it does not find any matching rows. Let's suppose we have a table. This table contains some values, some attribute. It contains some attribute and some rows. Here we have A1, A2, A3 and A4. There are some values is given in. These are these values which are given. If we want to find out how many values in attribute A1 or we want to find out how many values in attribute A2, then we have to apply the count function. Count function, here how many values are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. If we apply count on attribute A1, it will give result 4. That is the purpose of the count function. We can use the count function in 3 different ways, which are first one is the, actually how we have to use the count function. There are 3 techniques, there are 3 ways where we can use the count. First one is the, we have to put count star. Second one, we have to put count and expression. And third one, we have to put count distinct. We have to discuss these 3 techniques which are applicable to count function. First one is the count star, where we have to use count star. Actually, this function uses this select statement. The count star function, it is used with the select statement to return the count of rows in result set. The result set contains all non-null, null and duplicate rows. This is the count star. It is used with the select statement. And count expression function, this function returns the result set without containing null rows as the result of an expression. This is the count expression. And last one is the count distinct expression function. This function returns the count of distinct rows without containing null values as the result of the expression. These are the different variation of the count function. First one is the count star function, count expression function and count distinct function. Count star function, actually this function it is used with the select statement to return the counted number count of the rows as a result set. And the result set it contains non-null values, even null values, and even it contains duplicate values. Let's suppose we here, this is the table, this is attribute A1 and here we have insert 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. How many types of 1 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Count star, it doesn't care about the whether that is repeated, that is null or not null. It will return the total number of count values. That is the count star function. And count expression function, this function returns the result set without containing null rows as the result set of an in count expression function. It does not contain without containing the null row. It means it does not count the null rows. What is the syntax? The syntax, the following are the syntax of the count function. First one is we have to use select, then count, aggregate expression, from we have to put the name of table, and after putting name of table, we have put the where condition. Now we have to understand the whatever parameter passing here. We have to understand the all the parameters. First one is the aggregate expression. What does it stand for, the aggregate expression? Actually, it specifies the column or expression whose non-value will be counted. And table name, we have to specify the tables from where you want to retrieve records. There must be at least one table listed in the from class. And where condition, it is actually optional. It specifies the conditions that must be fulfilled for the records to be selected. That is about the syntax and aggregate expression. What should be the table and what should be the condition for the where condition, where class. For example, now we have to understand all this with the help of some example. Let's suppose we have a table. This is the employee table. It contains employee ID, employee name, employee age, city, and income. And there are some values. On these on the basis of these values, I'm going to take some queries, and what will be the result of that query? Let's suppose select. Let's suppose we want to some user find out, some user given a query that is select count employee name from employees. What will be the result? Here we are taking table as an employee, and we are using here count function. That is the count. What will do it? It will count what it count here expression, that is the name of employee. This employee name, this is the name of attribute. It will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 values that will be counted by this query here. That's why how we have to apply. We have to put the select, then we have put the count, and we are counting which attribute. There are various attributes. Let's suppose someone count city, someone count income, whatever we have to count, whatever user requirement, on the basis of we have to put here count, and here we have to put the name of attribute. After putting name and from which table? From table employee. It calculate what will give the result. It calculate total number of employees name available in the table. How many employees are available in the table? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 employees. What will be the answer? Answer will be the 8. This is the answer of this query. Now I have take second query. That is here we have select count star from employee where employee age greater than 30. What will be the answer of this? Here what is the difference between this and this? Here we have used here name of attribute, but here we have used star. Actually it goes in employee table and it find out employee age where employee is greater than 32. Then what will be the answer? It returns all rows from employee table, and where it specifies rows whose values in terms of employees that is greater than 32. If we will discuss about the in table here, actually this is the output because the employee age greater than 32. If here we have used greater than 32, if then answer will be this row because age is greater than 32, and this row, and 45 and 40. This will be the, these are the 4 rows that is displayed by this query. Now we have to put another query, that select count distinct employee age from employee table. Here it is also count, both are the same, But what is the difference here? By applying this query, we have to go in the employee table and count. What it count? It count employee age and distinct employee age. It means, let's suppose here we have reached this table. How many, if we are counting employee age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are eight values, but by using this only this keyword, distinct keyword, it what will happen? It will truncate. It will remove all which contains more than one. For example, 32 and 32. It is counted just one time. This is the meaning of distinct. 40 and 35, 45, 40 just counted one. This is the meaning of the distinct. It counts non-null and distinct rows in a particular column with employee age. Next one is the MySQL count function with group by class. Actually, we have to apply this count function with for which group by class. For example, we have put a query, select employee name. Here we are finding the account name of employee, city, and we are using count function from where? From employee, and it is grouped by city. What will happen? It will give the result. Yeah, resultant query will be, resultant table will be, it will give the employee name and city, and it will count. This is the count from employee table group by city. On the base of city, these values will be counted. It means how many New York City, there are one New York City. In California, there are 2 employees that live in the California. This is on the basis of, this is the role of this count star function. Next one is the count function with having an order by class. Here we are just using count star function with the help of group by as well as having class. What is the query? Our query is, we have to find out, select employee name. We have to find out employee name, employee age. What will be the answer? It will contain 2 attributes. Resultant table contain 2 attributes, that is employee name and employee age. And on the basis of this count, what will it count? It will count from employee where it is grouped by employee age. It means on the basis of similar age and having count greater than 2, order by count star. It means here in this query we are just counting. We are grouping on the basis of the employee age. It means how many employees that is of age 40 and how many employees are there. It will count. If there is number greater than 2, then it will display. It means if here there are only 3 attributes, 3 names are there, that is employee age and count. Here Donald, that is 2, Obama, that is 2, and that is 3. That is about the count function with having an order by class. Next one is the MySQL sum function. How we have to apply MySQL sum function? Let's suppose we have a table. We have an employee table or a student table. Let's suppose it's a student table. Here, student name, student marks, student section. And someone wants to add the marks of a student. It means we want to add a particular column. Here there are 3 attributes and we want to add the student marks. Then we have to apply which function? We have to apply the sum function. How we have to apply? We have to understand the syntax. What is the syntax of MySQL sum function? Here we have to use select, then sum, aggregate expression, whatever expression we are passing here. It means what are the expression? It means how what is the basis for doing addition, and then from which, from where, from the given table, and we have to put where condition. Actually, it is the optional. What are the parameters here? First parameter is aggregate expression. It specifies the column or expression that we are going to calculate the sum. Uh, Now we have to take one example about that. Next one is the table name. It means in which table we are going to apply, whether that is student table, that is employee table, or any of the table which is requirement of a particular user. Here we have we have taken a table that is employee table. If we have put select star from employee, it will display all the table. It contains employee ID, employee name, occupation, working date, and working hour. Now we want to find out the sum of the working hour. This is the working hour, and we want to calculate the sum of all the working hour. How many employees are there? We want to sum of all the employees. How many work has been done in a particular organization? Then how we have to apply? We have to apply. I have already told we have to put select. Then name of aggregate function, that is sum, and which attribute we want to add. This is the working hour. That's why here we have put working hour as, and whatever the result we want to store that result into another table. That's why we here put as total working hour from the employees. Then the resultant table will be the total working hour, this one, and total working hours, it will sum the all the 10, 15, 12, 9, whatever the value, it will be the triple one. That is the meaning of MySQL sum function. Same as we can apply the MySQL sum with the where even we can apply it with the group wise and having class. For example, we want to add all those in this table. We want to sum of all those employees. We want to sum of all those sum of all working hour on the basis of which employee work greater than 12 hours. It means we want to sum of all the works on the basis of employees which had work greater than 12 hours. It means we have to add 15, 12, 15 and 12. This will be the how we have to put here. We have to put select sum for which working hour as we want to store whatever name you want to give as a total working hour, as a sum of whatever you have to put. We have to put a new table name from employee where working hour greater than 12. What will be the answer? It will sum all the working hour which values greater than equal to 12 hour. Next one is this is about the MySQL function with having class, and now that is the MySQL average function. What is the role of MySQL average function? Let's suppose we have a table, and in this table we have put here employee and employee salary. If we want to find out the salary of average employee of salary, we want to find out this column as a we want to find out average of this column, then we have to apply the MySQL average function. What is the syntax? Here we have to put select average aggregate expression from name of table where we have to put the where condition. For example, this is the employee table and we want to average working hour. This is the working hour and we want to find out what is the average working hour of this organization. Then we have to put select average working hour from employee. It will give this will be the average working hour of the employee table. Next one is the MySQL min function. In MySQL min function, if there is a table, it contains more than 2 or 3 attributes, and we want to find out minimum value of particular attribute, then we have to use the minimum function. For example, this is table, and we want to find out minimum income. Then how we have to apply? Select minimum income as a minimum from the employee. It will give the result minimum. This is the minimum 20,000 will be the minimum income. It will the by using this query. Same as we have to apply highest salary. That is all about the